Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another episode of Daily Palantir, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about the relationship between Palantir and Germany. Now, I know 3 weeks ago I did an episode on Palantir and Germany based on some German officials saying that they want Palantir back because terrorism threats are increasing in the country. Today, I paid €1 or pound. I paid something. I know everyone's going to flame me in the comments about that, but I paid some currency, one of them, to a German media publication that did a really deep piece on Palantir, the relationship Germany has with Palantir, and something new that a lot of people, including myself, and I'm sure some of you guys here, did not know about in terms of Palantir in Germany. I think it's really significant. I think it matters, and I think we have to keep our eyes on the Germany and Palantir situation. So today's episode is going to all be about that. Let's get into it. All right. So first of all, what is the news publication that I was looking at today that ended up publishing this? So this is, and you guys are going to make fun of me for the name. I can't, especially my German audience. Comment in the chat or put in the comments if you're from Germany and if you consume any of my content from Germany. Handelsblatt. Handelsblatt. I don't know what that means, but it's a German publication and it seems to be pretty popular. It has 20 million monthly readers. So this is not some random blog in Germany talking about Palantir. This is a pretty sophisticated news publication talking, and it seems like they're pretty credible in terms of what's going on with Palantir. Now, there's a couple of quotes I want to share from this, but I want to give you the overall thesis up front, and then we'll get into some specific quotes. So I tweeted this morning. There were 3 things that came out from this article that I did not even know, and I think are really important to understand in terms of recognizing the opportunity here for Palantir. So first, the platform that Palantir built for Germany dismantled a network of Reich citizens, otherwise known as neo-Nazis, in 2022. I actually did not know that. I did know that Palantir prevented a major terrorist attack in 2018, but the article reiterated how important it was for them to be able to stop that attack. Second, and I definitely didn't know this, the platform was used 14,500 times in 2022 alone. So that means in 2022, when it was at its highest level of usage, 14,500 times people or defense officials went into the platform and used it to be able to get data analysis, data analytics, information, pattern recognition, whatever they may have used Gotham for. Third, and this was what was newly revealed in this article, the investigating authorities in North Rhine-Westphalia, NRW, are also enthusiastic. There, the Palantir platform is called Cross-Database Analysis and Research, or DAR, and it's used daily. With the help of the DAR system, police officers have recognized the planned attack on the Don Bosco Gymnasium, gymnasium is another word for high school in Germany, in Essen, and successfully prevented it. North Rhine-Westphalia Interior Minister told Handelsblatt about a success that has not yet been publicly known. So basically, there was this potential attack on a high school or a gymnasium in Germany, and Palantir software, which is referred to as the cross-database analysis and research, was used. It's used daily to be able to stop that attack. Now, many high-level officials in Germany are campaigning to bring the platform back and make it nationwide. Unfortunately, Federal Minister of the Interior, Nancy Faeser, rejected the nationwide introduction with the idea of building their own version of Palantir. There's a little bit more I want to go into the article, but I want to give you the bottom line on what I think about this and why it's so important to understand, at least for investors. I think we're going to get Germany back. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm becoming more optimistic that Germany is beginning to see the light. Now, why do I feel this way? Well, one of the main reasons, to be honest, is that this is the 3rd media publication in 3 weeks that has put out an article that has something to do with Germany and its relationship to Palantir. I believe that there are high-level ranking officials that are being used as the source for these articles, because they need a source to be able to create their narrative and then put it out there, that are pitching these media publications. Hey, things are not going good internally in different parts of the country, and we need this software. The bureaucracy and the politics of the country is stopping us from implementing the software. Can you guys get the word out? I mean, this thing goes to 20 million people. Now, are all 20 million people going to read this article? Probably not. But the point is, these are not small blogs in Germany. These are real media publications that are trying to get the word out in terms of what's happening in the world of Palantir. So I think overall, there is a good chance Palantir gets back into Germany, because at some point when the terrorism threats become as high as they've become, and when the infrastructure that you want to build on your own is not going to be built and it's not going to work, then you gotta come back to what works, and what does work we know for a fact is Palantir. What does that mean for investors? I think international government revenue growth will accelerate if we get Germany back. Do we get them back this year? I would probably say it's unlikely, just given these things take time and a lot of politics, and I think Karp and the team are watching this very seriously. That's my own speculation, because if you got the biggest German media publication saying, hey, Germany wants Palantir back, I'm sure you've got some Palantir sales folk in Germany, talking to these government officials like, hey, like, what can we do to get you guys to understand we are not the data hungry, civil liberty violating companies? That's the whole irony of this, is that Karp got his PhD in Germany. He understands how data privacy and regulations are so intense and meaningful there. And so like the software would, from my understanding, not violate those principles, especially in Germany, because Karp understands if you want to do business in Europe, which they do business in Europe across, various countries, you've got to be able to do it the right way. So I think we're going to get back in Germany. When is that going to happen? I don't know, but I think it's very bullish for investors once we get back into Germany, because it's going to be a very, very big market. Germany upped their defense spend to $100 billion last year. So they've got the money. The question is, can they get over their politics to be able to get Palantir? So Markus Loeffler, the senior director of enterprise technology at Palantir and head of the Germany, Austria, and Switzerland region, says overall business is going well for us, but growth is significantly weaker in some regions. Basically saying like, hey, we're doing well in Europe, but we all know that we're not doing as well as we could be doing given some of the politics in Germany. Loeffler does not give exact numbers. Palantir publishes sales broken down by region only for the USA, Great Britain, and the rest of the world. This primarily includes France, Germany, South Korea, and Japan. So USA and UK are our biggest sources of business when it comes to Palantir, and the rest of the world makes up the rest of the revenue streams. After that, sales in America grew by almost 57% to around $1.4 billion in 2021 to 2023, while the rest of the world only increased by a quarter to $612 million. And this is why a lot of analysts are not the happiest with Palantir, because they believe that the growth is not as strong as it could be. Whereas if you believe in Karp versus the analysts, you believe that growth is coming. It's just going to take some time, and dealing with countries that have their own political ideologies, that is part of the problem to actually get the job done. Another quote I wanted to read is here. So according to company insiders, new business in Germany is going slowly. There are problems with sales and other homemade problems, and also bad image. Palantir is considered a data octopus and scary, and its collaboration with the CIA and US military is criticized. Again, the perception of Palantir is just not the best when it comes to Germany. I never encountered such strong reservations anywhere else in the world, says this frustrated senior Palantir executive. Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir, even complained about the status quo to analysts. Europe, he's quoted, does not want to take part in this revolution. It's completely different in the USA, where Palantir can hardly save itself from others from US companies at the moment. We have a lot of employees in Germany and France, says Karp. I tell them it's time to pack up and come to America. He said this on the Q4 earnings call, if Germany and France don't end up working out. Which, again, if Palantir leaves Germany and France, I think German officials, the ones that are basically arguing that and campaigning for Palantir to make it to like really become integral here, I think they're going to be very upset. And I think before that happens, these German officials are going to really campaign to get Palantir to stay and to like be used, because they have to be used for them to stay. If not, I think Karp's just going to hang it up and move on, and eventually Germany will call back, and then they'll come back. But until then, it's going to be hard to get there. Karp had imagined it differently. Germany has always been considered an important market and location. Parts of the various Palantir software, such as Foundry or Gotham, were developed in Munich. One of the key figures, for example, is Robert Fink, today's head of technology at the software company Helsing. 250 of the total 3,735 employees work in the German-speaking region. There are also many Germans who work for Palantir abroad. Karp insists on speaking to them all in German. He lived in Frankfurt for a long time, and his family immigrated to the USA and German-speaking countries. According to Karp, the software developer even has German values within him. For example, how thoroughly the software is structured and developed. Karp talks about this all the time. This truthfulness that we have internally is strange and more something that you find in Germany and not America. The rest of the article pretty much goes on to talk about, the problems with Palantir, the perception of Palantir, but it also goes on to say why data protection and civil liberties uniquely Palantir cares about them more than the Microsofts, Amazons, and Googles of the world, which is important, right? Because this is the most frustrating thing as a Palantir investor, but also where the most, I think, alpha opportunity lies, opportunity that has not been yet discovered, which is all these countries don't understand that Palantir actually cares about civil liberties. And they're building their software with the intention to protect civil liberties. There has not been, to the best of my knowledge, all of these egregious violations of civil liberties. There hasn't been a Cambridge Analytica when it comes to Palantir. Yet these countries in Europe that have this perceived ideological understanding of Palantir, they're not able to reconcile that. I mean, it speaks of the fact of people just being stuck in their own dogmatic viewpoints. And so the alpha is that these countries don't get it. Therefore, Palantir's numbers aren't as great. But once they get it, what does that do to the numbers? And obviously, what does that do to the market cap, the stock price, etc.? And so I think there's an opportunity there. Now, granted, Palantir, you can say, has gotten a premium based on their U.S. commercial growth, and one could argue maybe too much of a premium based on the U.S. commercial growth. But now, as it's come back down to this $20 range, I think it gets more exciting to me from a dip perspective, because if international growth, and again, I wouldn't hedge my bets on Germany coming back anytime soon. This is speculation on my parts. It's just, this is another publication talking about this again. I mean, like, I wouldn't have talked about this today unless this didn't pop up in my feed and then I fucking paid £1 or €1 to get access to it, because I'm like, well, wait a second. Why are all these publications still talking about this? It seems like maybe it's picking up momentum, it's picking up steam, and maybe if we do get these guys in a year and a half, that can help accelerate international government revenues, which will increase top-line revenue growth, increase the CAGR of growth overall, and obviously should have an impact on Palantir's market cap and valuation. So I think it's exciting to see this continue to develop. I think the dip becomes more exciting as we look to different catalysts. Everything I've seen in the United States, the Titan deal and all the various contracts we're getting, the Oracle partnership, these things are only good. They're not bad. And I think that means on a fundamental basis, Palantir is doing better. It's falling off mainly with the macro, but that international government segment, because it's not increasing at the level that Palantir wants it to increase, that the street wants it to increase, which is lowering the overall CAGR of the government business, that is one of those things that has potential to change to the upside if Palantir can lock in these contracts. The question is, can we do it? And I guess we'll be along the journey over the next few years to see, can Palantir get back into these countries? All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Please make sure to subscribe, dailypalantir.substack.com, for the email version of this video. I also have a new channel, Emit Content Clips, where I have a lot of clips, specifically of me going through my Hobbits AI software, the software I started that has to do with asking the LLM that's trained on millions of words that I've spoken around Palantir any questions you want. So please make sure to check that out in the description as well. There is a lot of Palantir content on that channel, and if you want more Palantir content, then that Palantir content will be there. Thank you, everybody. Let me know what you guys think on Palantir eventually getting back with Germany. And let's see if this journey can continue with one of the countries that deserves Palantir, given how much Palantir cares about data protection, civil liberties, etc. If they can get on the side to understand Palantir versus Palantir being a black sheep to the country. It'll be exciting to see how this plays out. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.